22 minutes past 9. You are used to hearing the last post played by a bugler. And perhaps you know that really beautiful, gentle version on electric guitar. Well, today, another special style on violin, and it's going to be played by violinist Rachel Bostock. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning.
You played at an event recently, and that's how we found out about you. And people were so moved by your version of the last post on violin. Where did you perform?
I performed at the 80th anniversary of the siege of the Rats of Tobruk, and they were having a special event with just to honour those who served, and that was put on by the descendants of the Rats of Tobruk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which led to another pretty special discovery for you.
Yes, that's right. I discovered my great-uncle was actually a Rat of Tobruk. So that was really special to find out I'm actually a descendant myself.
Wow. And you didn't know that before you attended that event? Or how did that come about?
It's interesting. I was actually booked to play at this event 2 years ago, but it had to be postponed. I think it was 3 times because of COVID. But finally it was able to go ahead. And I happened to mention it to my dad, but I don't think I'd said Rats of Tobruk to him.
Yeah.
And then he said, oh, I'm pretty sure my uncle was a Rat of Tobruk. And then we looked into it and found out he was. And this was only a day or so before I was supposed to play.
Wow. Or even more sort of weight and significance to the occasion. Had you played the last post on violin before?
Yes. So I initially played it, posted a video of it myself playing it online back in 2016. And it was my way, I suppose, of honouring the Anzacs at the time. It was for Anzac Day. And I didn't really think much of it, and it kind of went viral. And from there, I've been invited to play at quite a few different events and Anzac services and that kind of thing, and met some amazing people as well, including Keith Payne, VC. He's the oldest living Victoria Cross recipient in Australia. So it's been such an honour, and I never expected it to have such an impact on people. But yeah, it's just been amazing.
Yeah. You're listening to Rachel Bostock, who actually has brought her violin into the studio this morning. She's going to play for you on ABC Radio Brisbane. Before you play, though, tell us a little bit more about you and your musical background. When did you first pick up the violin?
So I first started playing the violin when I was 9 years old, and I actually grew up playing in a band with my 2 older brothers and my sister from the time I was about 10 years old, and we travelled up and down the east coast of Australia playing at various festivals and pubs, clubs, everything.
Wow. From at that young age?
From 10 years old, yeah.
Okay, the real travelling musical family. Are you from Brisbane?
I'm from the Gold Coast.
Right.
So born and raised on the Gold Coast, and I actually still play music with my brother, Rob, who plays the guitar, and we formed a new band recently called Hinterland.
All right.
Yeah, with a friend of ours.
Okay, well, we'll talk a bit more about Hinterland because I know you're off to Tamworth Country Music Festival in a moment. What's the name of the band that you toured up and down the coast with?
The Bostocks.
The Bostocks?
Yes.
Wow, I should have known that.
Yes.
Bostocks by name. I was just thinking, there might be someone listening this morning too who saw you guys on the road. So little Rachel
possibly.
With a little violin.
Yes, well, we did it for years, right up until just a few years ago with the Bostocks.
All right. The Bostocks, would you play the last post for us this morning, Rachel?
I will play it, yes, absolutely.
All right, lovely. And anything special in particular about that violin? Is it an electric? You've got it plugged in. Yeah,
it's an acoustic electric instrument. My instrument's actually carbon fibre. It's called an epoch violin. They're an Australian-made violin. I've had this one for years, but I've always just found it really great for playing live and travelling with. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. Well, it would be a real treat ahead of Anzac Day next Monday, the 25th of April, to have you play live this morning on ABC Radio Brisbane. This is Rachel Bostock, the last post on violin. Live on ABC Radio Brisbane, Rachel Bostock. Just chilling, Rachel. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where are you going to be on Anzac Day this year?
I'm actually playing at a private residence over 50s living place called Sea Change in Arundel. So I'm really looking forward to playing for those who live there.
Yeah. Yes. Is it a difficult piece to play on violin as opposed to a guitar or on bugle?
I've heard that it is quite difficult to play on the bugle, actually, and the trumpet. I don't play it myself, so I cannot compare. I wouldn't say it's overly difficult on the violin for someone who's maybe played for a while. But I suppose my intention whenever I play is to try and invoke the memory of those who served or who came home and were left with the scars. I think all of us in some way have been touched by the ravages of war, and even from the mothers and the sisters and brothers who were left behind, and to keep the pieces together or pick them back up once the men came home. So I suppose I always try to put my heart into it whenever I play.
Yeah. The significance of the piece is not lost on anyone.
Absolutely.